Hey, Godmother. Can you hear me? I'll bring my mic a little closer. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, hello, Soror. How are you? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm a few minutes early, so. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. How was your daughter's first? She should be coming back to school, right? She came home for the holidays. How was that? My dear sorority sister. Oh, and another one joined. How are you, Sora Kathy? I need you to put a picture on your social media. This is ridiculous. It's always nice to be supported by your sisterhood. I'm gonna have to work on that noise. I don't know where it's coming from. We will begin in about 3 minutes. Look at that. Another live. You get to see me live, Nat. Possibilities are endless. How are you? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I wish I could play music as you all entered, but unfortunately, when you do that, and it's not copyrighted, you don't have official use of the song, then what happens is Facebook mutes you. So it's very difficult. Hey, Cousin Mo. Hello, Vivian. Thank you so much for our conversation yesterday. I see folks are starting to join. Hello, babysitter. Hello, former teacher. How are you? We got a couple of minutes left, and we will go ahead and get started. I'm sure that you're all full of turkey and ham and lamb and all kinds of side dishes and desserts. Aw, thanks, Nat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to keep Daryl. Keep him a little longer. I was actually on the radio today, everyone, so I'm very excited and humbled with the opportunity. So, hello, Lola. Again, I always say this to everyone. If you don't want me to mention your name, just let me know in case you're on the run, like Beyonce and Jay-Z. I want to make sure you're okay. Make sure that my mic, you can hear me. Oh my goodness. Somebody I used to work with just joined. How are you? Okay, so it is 5 o'clock my time, which is 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock other places. So first, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed your holiday. It was a little touch and go for me. We'll talk about that another time. As always, I always have this topic that I want to discuss, and then my life curves a little bit. And today's topic is around repairing brokenness. Hey, line sister. And my heart isn't as heavy as it's been. It's actually peaceful. So I think that's what you're seeing today is peace. I got a phone call today that a friend of mine who I had visited a month ago, she's very, very sick and has a terminal illness. and her time with us on earth is diminishing. And I kept going back and forth on whether or not I was going to vlog today, because I've really been struggling with her illness personally. We were high school best friends, and she has not reached a milestone birthday yet. She would be 50 in January, and she's dying. And it's been hard. It really has been hard watching her go through this. And, we all have gone through, have seen friends and family members who transition. That's the term I use because I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he died for my sins, and I believe in 3 days he rose again, and that we all have everlasting life. That's what I believe. No judgment on those who believe others, but on other ideologies, but that's what I believe. And it has been hard watching her. It just doesn't seem fair. No one deserves to be sick. And death is a part of life. I completely understand that. But no one deserves illness. And it just seems so unfair. The life that she's led and how we got here. But I want to be transparent to you. I want to be honest and tell you that while she was my high school best friend for about 10 years, over 10 actually, our relationship was broken. It was very much estranged. Both sides, both of us. It was hurt feelings. And had we just sat down and had a conversation, things would have been different. But because we both had hurt feelings and we were both caught up in our mess and not hearing one another and not wanting to hear one another, we lost time. And so while I am not happy that she became ill, the one thing that brought us together was her diagnosis. It was the fact that she was sick. And here's the story behind it. We weren't really speaking. And then we were surface, like we were having surface conversation. How you see someone, you say hi, but it's never quite the same. And she was talking to, we have mutual family and friends, well, not family, but mutual friends. And my family has known her forever. I've known her since I was 13 years old. And I just felt like she didn't want to be my friend. And so I was talking to a mutual friend, and I was sharing with her, I was like, I just don't think that she wants to be a part of my life. I think she wants to see my life, but I don't think she necessarily wants to be a part of it. So I, as you guys know, I started to unfriend her in social media. And when I did that, our mutual friend said, Lisa, her illness came back and she's in the hospital. And I was mad at the mutual friend, playfully. And my response to her, it was like, oh, you make me so sick because I know this isn't you. I know this is God speaking through you. And our friend is prideful. So I said, well, let me just reach out to her and see if she'll respond. And she did. And then I said, well, how's it going? And she said, Lisa, it's not going well. I'm getting ready to go to the hospital, and I'm about to have surgery. So I said, okay, I'll connect with you in a couple of days. Here's my number. I'll call you. You can call me. So I called her, didn't get her. She called me back. And in that moment, because I am direct. I'm a direct communicator. I'm confrontational, not like in a negative kind of way, unless I have to be. But for the most part, I believe in addressing things head on. And I asked her, what was it my fault? What could I have done differently? Is there something else I could just tell me what it is and let's resolve it? And we talked, and I heard her point of view and she heard mine, and then it was over. And that was 7 years ago, somewhere between 5 and 7 years ago. And I made a promise to her then that I would love her through her journey. Whatever that was, that I would love her through it. And it came hard. She was in remission, and then it came back with a vengeance. And every year, just when we thought that she was making progress, something else would happen. And she would have surgery, and then, treatments, and then surgery, and then treatments. And when we got to, we started to do prayer circles, I believe last year, virtual prayer circles, because we all live in different places. She lives on the East Coast. I live here in the Midwest. And we started doing prayer circles for her virtually at the suggestion of another mutual friend. So through our love for her, people really started to reconnect. Relationships that I'd had, that you may have seen occasionally or talked to occasionally, you started to talk more because of this individual. And so we started to pray for her every month, and with, right before, right after chemo treatment, and connect with people that we wouldn't normally connect with because you're so busy with your life. And then we started talking about, because she was so prideful, we started talking about letting other people in. And I said to her, none of the people on your social media pages are strangers. Allow people to give you your flowers now. Let people show you how much they love you and care about you. You're going to be amazed at how many folks think of you and pray for you and will give you an encouraging word. You might be overwhelmed, but you're going to be so surprised at how many people are in your corner. And I'm sure other people told her that as well. And so she started to do that. She started to provide people updates, and she started getting phone calls and text messages all the time and visits. And then this year in the summertime, I was in Philadelphia dealing with my father-in-law, who was very ill at the time. He was in ICU and had received a call from her saying that the treatments that she was doing weren't working. And in fact, stuff was spreading. And so we knew then that she was on a finite amount of time. And she started to use language like, I know this illness is going to be with me, but I want to live. I don't want to focus on dying. So I said, okay, just tell me what you need. And another mutual friend, matter of fact, the same mutual friend who told me that she was first ill, suggested that we plan a girls' trip. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't want to plan it. And I had so much going on. I was in Philadelphia dealing with my father-in-law. I had just gotten back to find out that my son needed major surgery. She was sick. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it by myself. I was at capacity emotionally. But we had promised her that we would do it. And somehow it all fell on me. And at first I was resentful. I'm not going to lie to you. I was resentful because I was going through my own stuff. Not resentful of her, just that I didn't have anything else to give, is what I thought at the time. I don't have anything else to give. But who am I? If not me, then who? So I planned her weekend. And we had the best time. Didn't start out well. I'd gotten there before everybody else. Hurricane Michael had gotten there the same time I did. And all the power went out on where we were supposed to be, and we had to change locations. And it worked out because she didn't want to be there the first night anyway. So I dealt with that piece by myself. She was none the wiser. And then our other friends came. And it just so happened she'd had a guest list of like 10 or 12 women. But when it was all said and done, the women that were able to attend were folks that we had all grown up with for 30 years. And another friend of ours from high school crashed the party and brought his lovely wife. And she had family that come to visit her. She had 5 generations of people in her family. And we laughed a lot and cried. But she got her flowers. And I think for the most part, we all knew that this was probably going to be the last time we saw her. And I made a decision that I would just FaceTime her every day. I just wanted to see her face. We got back from that trip. I should tell you that 2 weeks before that trip, she had gotten really, really, really sick. She was hospitalized for 2 weeks. We didn't even know if she was going to be able to make the trip. But God, because she was released 2 days before we were supposed to see there, before we were supposed to come down and see her. And they didn't think she was going to make it then. But God. So we have a great weekend. I can share this with all of you because some of you have seen my Facebook post. You know, there was a comment that was made by one of our girlfriends who said, you know, I would do her voice, her impersonation, but I need permission to do that. But she would say, we were talking and I was just kind of telling them what had happened the day before we had even picked up our friend. And she laughed and said, you know, Lisa, sometimes you just need a drink and somebody to rub your booty. And we were like, what? She's like, I know that sounds crazy, but just sometimes you just need somebody to rub your booty. I was like, somebody? Like random people? And so that became the ongoing joke the entire weekend. You just need somebody to rub your booty. When anything stressful happened, when something didn't go our way, when someone was feeling a certain way, someone would respond with, come here, girl, let me rub your booty. That Monday when we got back, my friend had decided that she was no longer going to continue treatments. She said she didn't want to spend the rest of her time sick. And she wanted to live. It was about quality of life for her. And so I asked her what I could do for her. Just tell me what you need. Tell me what I can do for you. If you want me to come back, just tell me what it is. And she said, I just want you to be you. You make me laugh. And if you would just do that, that would be enough. I said, okay, I can do that. So we would FaceTime every day and we would laugh. And there were days where she would, a month, 5 weeks have gone by, she would go back to the hospital. There were times where she couldn't speak. It was too tiring for her. She was tired. Her body was weak. But every day she smiled. My last communication with her was a week ago, maybe a week and a half. And she was on her way to the hospital. She was in good spirits. And the last conversation we had, and she wanted to hear all about our trip to boarding school for my daughter. I was telling her about it, and she was like, she's going to be fine. She's going to be amazing. And then a friend of ours went to visit her and saw her maybe a few days later, and she couldn't speak at all. And she was laying there, and she said, our mutual friend was like, yeah, I told her you would be jealous of me being here. And I smiled, and of course, I promised her that I would be me. And I said, so you got people over there rubbing your booty? Really? Is that why you're smiling? And she smiled. She was laying across the bed. She couldn't speak. I said, I love you. And she blew me a kiss. And that's the last time I saw her. And so I have been struggling because I felt like I didn't have any peace. Peace to say goodbye. Peace to be there to hold her hand. However, and I had been crying constantly for weeks. I went into church yesterday crying because I knew I wouldn't be able to see her. I wouldn't be able to hold her hand. I wouldn't be able to say goodbye. And then same friends who were in that circle that weekend said to me, you've done all that you could do. And I thought about our very first conversation 7 years ago. And one of my friends reminded me, she said, you know, you gave her flowers while she was living. The truth is, when it is her time and she transitions, she won't be there. She won't see you at the funeral. And that gave me peace because I kept my word. I loved her through it. And I told some people a couple of weeks ago that God gave me the opportunity to not just reconnect with her, but to reconcile. And my friend reminded me, imagine if she was on her way to glory and you never got the opportunity to reconcile. You never got the opportunity to do what you were supposed to do, to love her through her journey. And I tell people, I am grateful for her illness because it gave me the opportunity to be not the friend she needed, but the friend she deserved from me. And that's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. We were broken, but God saw it fit to repair so that I could be there for her. when she needed me the most. And though these tears are coming now, they're actually tears of joy. Because I got to love her through her journey. And she knew that. She knew that I loved her. And I told her every chance I got. It allowed me to build relationships with friends of hers who loved her just as much as I did, to reestablish and reaffirm relationships that I've had for decades, all on the auspice of her, because of her. And so the truth is, yesterday I was really sad. Today I'm not. I actually have a lot of peace today. That I can smile. Because even though she will leave us here on earth, she believed in God and knows that there will be everlasting life and that there will be people there waiting for her. You can't get no better than that. So, I wasn't going to post today, but my vulnerability has always been my strength. I get it now. I've been saying to people for the last few months, where do strong people go to be unstrong? And she fought hard. But she had people fighting with her every step of the way. And I have comfort knowing that she will soon rest with no affliction in the arms of our Heavenly Father. Folks, thanks for listening today. Love you.